All right, we back. Episode 65, I think. 65, A.M.University, man. How you living, Wayne?
Everything good.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Good to see you, brother. Brother Ron Simpson and Derek Simpson for episode 65. How y'all doing?
All right.
Good to see y'all. Top of the morning,
good.
y'all.
Doing good.
Early is
Yes, sir.
early. Yeah. Ron Simpson and Derek, man. I love talking to father and sons that, played the game at a high level. They both seen a lot. That transition from my experiences is always easier when you're dealing with recruiting and when you're dealing with just the whole basketball landscape. That it's a lot that goes to it. And I wanted them on the show because I think they handled Derek's recruitment extremely well. If y'all don't know, Derek just finished up his career at LENAPE, 27-4 this past year, all-time leading scorer. Passed a really good friend of Wayne's into the shows. JT, and they had a really successful year, and as you know, Derek earned a scholarship to RUTGERS. Ron Simpson, his dad, never seen a shot he didn't like. That's another reason I wanted him on this show with Wayne. Never seen a shot he didn't like. We're going to get into that in a little bit as well. Top 10 all time at Ryder in scoring. So they've been around the game. They've been around the game for a long time. So I kind of want to just start with, we'll double back to your LENAPE career, but I kind of want to just start with y'all with the recruiting as a family that y'all had leading to the scholarship at RUTGERS. Because me personally, like from my experiences, I see a lot of families, they have no idea how to navigate this process. And they think they do, right? They think they got all the answers, Nobody cares about fit. Everybody wants to they want to do the sexy thing, like the big name, the biggest, I got to get that D1 scholarship. And even if you're a D3 player, like they just got it all wrong. And I was fortunate to be around Ron fairly often during Derek's recruiting process, as far as us having a conversation and he telling me what's going on. And I always admired, you just stayed the course. He didn't say much. He just did what he had to do on the basketball court, and you as a family, y'all just stayed the course. So let's start from there. I want y'all to tell me about even before you got any scholarship offers, when you started getting interest, like the essence of when recruiting started for you, when it started picking up, leading to y'all getting a scholarship with Steve PIKELL and RUTGERS.
Well, I think when he really didn't get any interest until the summer of his freshman year, when we was in the team camp at Ryder. Before that, it was nothing. He's just playing travel basketball, playing AAU, and that was really it. And then when the summer came, and the way the process works is once you get that one offer, then it starts snowballing, where other schools say, hey, you know what, hey, he got an offer, now we should look at him. So we were kind of excited about the first offer, but I knew personally it was going to be a long process, but I didn't think that we would get to the point where he was at now, to be honest with you, because of, first of all, he was smaller, and we didn't know if he was going to be, I'm 6'5", didn't know if he was going to be 6'5" or not. And but one assistant coach at Ryder said to me, he said, Ron, he's going to be good. And I said, okay, whatever, And then that was it. And then Ryder offered him right off the bat. But before that, there was nothing. There was nothing at that time. I think when you hear kids say they're getting recruited in 7th grade, I think that's incorrect.
Before y'all go further, can you please expand on that? Because yes.
Well, you got some of these scouting services who rank the top 2nd grader in the country, and it's ridiculous. So, and I told you this story, and I know you were going to ask me about it. Was, I wasn't really excited. I was excited, but not really overly excited about Derek when he was younger, because we don't know where players are going to go once they get to a certain age, because the competition gets better. He may not have gotten better. Other kids are more physical than he was. So I really was not, I just sat back and watched him. I coached him up until 7th grade, and I had to give him up because I wanted someone else to coach him so he can learn different type of coaching styles. You coached him sometimes, and I appreciate that, because I think he needs to see what's the best fit of type of coaching for him. So I didn't really get. I was like, okay, I didn't let him know that I was behind the scenes saying, yeah, he may be okay, but I didn't let him know that because I didn't want him to get his head big and I didn't want him to get real cocky about it. But he like I said, going in the ninth grade, we didn't know what was going to happen, with LENAPE. But I just thought he was going to go to LENAPE and play on the freshman team. That's where I was at with him. I'm like most dads are, mom, whatever. You're critics of your kid. You're the biggest critic of your kid, and you want them to work harder. But going into freshman year, we knew nothing was going on.
Before you continue, how you going into freshman year at LENAPE?
I'm going into freshman year, kind of taking what I can get. If I'm playing freshman, I'm playing freshman. I'm playing JV, I'm playing varsity. It is what it is. But kind of like the basketball standpoint, like I was a freshman, so like I didn't know any of the juniors or seniors. I only knew some of the sophomores. So I was kind of just asking them like who's up top, and some of them have told me like you might be better than somebody, you're probably better than the guard that's there now. And before I even got there, we played in team camps at Widener, and I just had more IQ than a lot of the people that were there.
You felt that? I
felt it, and then but my body, I wasn't physically there. I was probably about 5'8", 5'9", not even. But I handled the ball very well, and I distributed the ball very well. It was just something they haven't seen. So I made my point when I played with them at a team camp, first 2 team camps, and from there it was just kind of like they kind of liked me a lot, loved me a lot.
Before you keep going, Ron, when did you start knowing that part about his game as far as the distributing and the ball handling? Because for me personally, it was around that. When I saw him freshman, I was like, wait, hold on. This kid see the floor. Not, again, you said we had point guards in our area. I've coached for the last 10 years. I ain't never see this type of, and when I talk about Derek, I always use the example. If you average 8 points a game, you're gonna average 16 if you play with him.
Okay.
He's that good of a. He just makes your life that much easier. But go ahead, Ron.
So I'm gonna once in a while I get to look at some old videos from 5th and 6th grade. That's when it started. Like you can tell his IQ on the floor. It's funny because he was probably more aggressive scoring back then too. But
nope. Hold on. We're gonna get into that too. I'm telling you, he's just like you, bro. I'm telling you. So their dynamic is crazy to me because they different guys. But go ahead.
But we different. The DNA, we gotta check the DNA to half the time. But in 5th grade, some old videos like I see sometimes on my computer, he just saw the floor from there, and that was the biggest thing for him. With a lot of coaches, opposing coaches were always saying to me, was that his IQ was very good. And that was something that I agree with. His IQ is very good. He saw the floor, and he played football as a quarterback at one time, and he was a receiver and a running back for 3 years playing Fleetwood football. And as a quarterback, he was threatened. Even at that young age, he was on target, just like he's making an assist. So his hand-eye coordination and his vision was always good. It's always been good. I'll give him that. I ain't never tell him that, but I'll give him that. But 5th grade, I'm telling you, he would see players, and we had good players with us. We had players at 4th to 5th grade. If you look at our championship, we won the districts in the AAU. 5 of those kids, 6 out of those 10 kids are playing college basketball, and so we had 4 kids like him on the team, and he was just the main point guard, and he just saw everything, and they grew together, But yeah, his IQ was the biggest thing about him growing up, is his IQ.
Okay. So now we in this freshman going into sophomore year. Let's get back to anything happening with recruiting at all, like the sophomore. Because when you start playing varsity.
My freshman year.
You started freshman year.
My first
game.
Oh,
yeah, you started freshman year.
You did. Okay. Yeah. So anything happening sophomore year at all?
So at that time, he got the offer from Ryder, and then the coaches were one coach called me. They saw him at a AAU tournament, St. Joe's. Saw him at an AAU tournament.
Yeah.
And he did very well. He was very composed. It was at Imhotep. It was packed. It was against Team Final, and he was with Kalo at the time.
Yes. I remember that game.
They
Battle
saw
the
him.
Bell.
I remember that game.
Battle the Bell.
Battle the
Yes,
Bells,
yes,
and they
yes.
saw him, and Coach Lang was there, and he saw him, and they called us up a week later, and they offered him, as a family. I didn't shield him from anybody. They didn't have his numbers at the time to call him, but at that point, it was always calling Mr. Simpson, his mom or whatever, just to get in contact with us. Then later on in the recruiting period, they started calling him directly. So I didn't have a lot of conversations, and I wanted him to talk to coaches. You know what I mean? I want him to figure out a coach. But so freshman year, he comes in, he gets Ryder in St. Joe's, and then COVID hits. Then that next year, we don't really do much, and we got a lot of calls from schools, mid-majors, not a lot of highs, low and mid. But they wanted game film, so Coach Wolf from LENAPE was giving a lot of game film out when we had the shutdown, and then we started getting a lot of phone calls. But they weren't committing to nothing because they got to see him live, and I understood that. I wasn't like, I understand that whole process. And then when it opened up, then some coaches we heard from, and some we didn't hear from anymore. And I always told them, don't take it personally. You may not be their style of player. Don't take it personally. And he was like, I bet. And he was cool with it. He didn't sweat it. He knew. I mean, he was on the phone with 3 teams out right now in the 16. But, none of them really followed up after they came to the Philly Live and the Jersey Live. But then other teams started coming around, and then they started calling. And it was true. It was true interest. I could tell when it's not a real interest. I could tell on the phone,
How?
Well, I can tell you this right now. There was not one coach that said to me, he's going to start when he comes here. Not one coach said that to me. And I appreciated that because that's bullshit. That's not
realistic.
That's not realistic. But, you could tell. Like, one school called me and they were like, can we get in the picture still? I was like, yeah. I said, he's open. He didn't sign with nobody. Okay, I bet. We'll call you back. I knew that was never going to happen again. And that coach actually talked to me about how he didn't want Derek to come up at a certain period on campus because the campus is boring.
He worrying about the wrong stuff.
Yeah. Campus is boring, but I want to bring him up when people are on campus. What can I tell you, bro? You know what I mean? So, and a lot of them, when we went face to face, a lot of them knew my background. So they knew that they can't. Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear all that stuff because I'm realistic about the kid. I'm realistic about the kid. And
Are you really direct with these conversations during this time? Like, because they'll give you they'll just be gabbing.
It's great. I got to tell you, there was not too many bad conversations I had. I don't think there was really one bad conversation I had with a coach. It was always, hey, how you doing, Mr. Simpson? We saw Derek play. We just want to know we're interested. This and that. One Big East school called me, and I knew it wasn't going to work out because they just called and said, well, we just want to make sure that we're around. Okay.
Can you explain the reason why they would do that? Like, are they just, all right, here go Derek Simpson, let's check off the box type of thing?
I think, you've heard of fake offers, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's fake conversations. I think there's favors. Derek knows that. There's favors. There's, hey, listen, I'm calling you. And they won't tell you that. I mean, they didn't tell me that, but I could tell. Some of the schools that called about him, I was like, this kid is not ready for that level yet. You know what I mean? Like, and this was like his junior year. Well, it was during COVID. During that short period of time we had it, and I'm like, this has got to be like a favor or something because, when one coach called, like I said, the Big East coach called me and he said, hey, listen, he said, I just want to let you know that we're here, and we'll be getting in touch and we'll get the ball rolling. That coach left the next month and now he's a head coach somewhere else. And your name just stays on the board, I guess. I don't know. Never got a call from him again. Never.
Derek, where do you think you was at in that junior year of recruitment? Like, you think you was a high major, mid major, D1, D2?
Honestly, I thought I was like the low major, mid major era, like that area.
And that was based upon your AAU or high school?
That was based upon my high school, like off my high school year. I didn't really know like where I was, to be honest, because I only had I had the two schools talking to me still, and I had great relationships with them, and then like it was kind of just like low major, mid major. I just want to go somewhere where I'm just gonna fit in. I wasn't looking for a school to come in and just like however high it was. Like I didn't want that. I wanted to go somewhere where I can come in and make a difference. But then when AAU came around, I played against a lot of other different like high major guys, and I was like, oh, like I gotta get better, or I gotta get stronger. I gotta work on my game a little bit more. Especially when we went to Atlanta, AAUY. We went to Atlanta. We went to Kansas City. I saw all the SEC, the Big Ten players, played against them, and I was like, and it was great for me to see that, because I compared myself to them, and I think it's called Sin Energy. I forget what it's called. It's like the recruiting, like the live stream thing. I sat down with one of my AAU coaches after the Kansas City trip, and we were just watching film, and I was like, yo, like I just gotta get better. It's just what it is, and I still compare myself to the kids I played against. I watched their film now and Slam, Ball's Life, and I'm like, yo, like he was that dude back a year ago too. So yeah, that was the big difference for me. I just was able to compare myself to people who were in the SEC, Big Ten, the Power 5 level. So
it's so crazy as a coach, like, cause that's what you want to do as a coach, right? You want to show them everything, So all right, now I got it in my memory bank, and I'm going to do whatever I'm gonna do with it. The problem as a coach, though, you might have guys like Derek Simpson that internalizes it the right way and really goes and gets better,
right.
Or you might have the guys that just, well, you probably don't want them guys anyway. The guys that they'll just crumble seeing that type of superiority and things like that. So it's like you got to gauge your audience. But I mean, personally, I'm gonna always do that. Like if we lose by 30, that's fine. You saw it. So now what we gonna do next? Right, but go ahead.
Oh, I got one more question, Derek. So the first time I seen you play was, of course, against Canton High at LENAPE. But I think this was the game before COVID hit or after COVID. I don't remember. But you had a hell of a game though.
On that Saturday.
So now I want to go back though before that game. Like, did you know like the prestige of Camden High? Like, did you grow up knowing like Camden High is the big dog, or you didn't know nothing about Camden High?
I had no idea about them.
So you had no fear of nothing when Camden High was coming to your building. No.
Like so my freshman year we were playing Camden. I didn't play that game because I was injured. I did something with my wrist. I messed up my wrist. So this was the span of 8 games I didn't play. So
all the greats mess up their wrists. I just want you to know that. All the greats, they all do that.
And they came and I was just told like Camden's this, Camden's that.
By who though? Who you getting told that? By him?
No. Just like people around me and like people that were on the team before me. So I was a freshman, so I didn't know.
So the fear was already there on the team, but not in you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just getting told like, oh yeah, Camden's this. They got Lance Ware. You gonna get dunked on? I'm like, all right, yo, it is what it is. So I didn't play that game. I was on the bench and I was just analyzing the game. Like yeah, Lance Ware, he averages 3-4 dunks a game. That's cool. They play hard. Like that was their motto. They just played hard. They got in you and they came in our spot. I think they beat us by like 20. So then like my sophomore year, I was playing. That was actually a funny game because me and DJ didn't score the first quarter. And then the second quarter, we both kind of started ramping it up. Actually, he ramped it up in the third quarter, and I did better in the second quarter. But that was the first like big environment I was in, like of everybody yelling. They got cheerleaders in our gym,
in your gym,
in our gym. They bring their cheerleaders everywhere. So it was a fun experience. And then I dropped a kid in the gym went crazy. So that was a cool experience. But no, I never like. That was the first time I experienced Camden my freshman year. Like that was the first time I saw it in live action. So
what did that game do to your confidence meter? It go up, down, stayed the same? What you did?
My sophomore year?
That game, after that game right there.
I really don't remember, to be honest, like how that made me feel. I just remember I remembered it as a team standpoint. Like we were beating them in the second quarter, so we were able to hang with them. So I was thinking of it as like more of a team standpoint, as in like going further, like we can do something good with this team this year. Like we can be pretty good in the playoffs.
Good answer.
I think he was always in a positive way, just naive to the whole whatever that is. I really don't know what it is over there, but all right, y'all keep telling me. Like that's how he always performed against them, you know. And you gotta either be that way because
you got to.
Right.
Yo, man, it's like they walk into the gym and you already down 30 because of what you heard and because of that name. It's like, I don't know, you gotta eventually get past that. But we in junior year. So how many times did y'all play in Philly live?
I think it was 2 back-to-back weekends, right?
Yeah. It was
How many years though?
Oh, they only started
did it
last year
one,
because
right?
of COVID. Yeah, they only started one
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Let's get to that period.
That period was
Because from my standpoint,
that was an exciting.
from what I saw and
You
what
turned
I
it up.
heard, I started hearing Derek Simpson's name
You know what? That was I was waiting for something like
in
that
those
to
2
come.
weeks.
I was waiting for something like that for a while because you know that was the first time college coaches could come out and we get to play at A.M.University, 3 courts going at the
That's
same
Jersey.
time.
That's the Jersey Live.
Jersey
No,
Live.
no,
That's
Philly
Jersey.
Live.
Philly,
Philly Live.
Philly was at
Philly
French
Live.
school.
My
Freddie
fault.
was at French. So we did Jersey Live first.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
And
the
then we
first
went
one.
to Philly Live.
Okay.
So, yeah, so go ahead.
So Jersey Live was the first thing, and that was actually the first time Rutgers saw me. And there's 3 courts going at the same time. We played Don Bosco. We beat Don Bosco,
Yep.
and then we lost to Rainey, and they whooped us. But like that was an exciting time. Even though we had 6 players, like we didn't have Tavon. It was only me, Aiden, Ty, Tiki, and Taj, and then it was somebody else. Like we didn't have any experience. Like it was only me that had the experience. So I was amped for it. I was amped for Philly Live, and I showcased myself very well, I think, and it showed. And then Philly Live was even a crazy environment because we were playing Philly teams. So, you know, it was just a different approach to the game. And I knew I was just going out there and I was just gonna have fun. That was the whole thing. I really wasn't nervous at all. Maybe like the first 2-3 minutes I was a little amped. But like as the games went on, like I was just excited to be in that moment. So I just took advantage of it all and I just didn't worry about nothing else. Turnover, just keep going. Like it is what it is. Like I had a bunch of guys around me that didn't experience that before, like playing in front of college coaches. So I was just kind of telling them like, yo, just play. Don't worry about it. Like this is like we could win or lose this game. We're just showcasing our talents right now. Just play. That's it.
From a social media perspective, that Philly one,
Yeah.
Derek Simpson, Twitter, everything, Derek Simpson. On the 2-week span. And it's crazy how this thing works. You know, like you said, it was mid-majors, it was low majors, some interest, basically throughout high school. Right? 2 weekends, people go nuts.
Well, he actually, see, what he forgot to tell you was he was with Kalo, well, he did say Atlanta and Kansas City. And I went to both of those trips. I flew with them both of those trips. And he played against the Chris Livingstons. Who's the kid that's going?
Jaden Bradley.
He played against the top. The one team we played had 7 players. What was it? All we can go?
We all can go.
We all can go? 7 players. They flew them all in. Not one kid was from North Carolina, or maybe one kid was from North Carolina.
Yeah.
When they 7
Team
players
was based in North Carolina, not one kid
not
from
one kid
North
from North
Carolina.
Carolina.
One kid was from North
one
Carolina.
kid. Let me tell you something. They were top 20 in the country.
It was like 7. It was
All 7 kids were top 20 in the country. When he went out there, I was like, ooh. Then what he's saying is I had to see what I had to get better. And when at the end of the game, I was like, yo, D, you got a long way to go, bro. You got a long way to go. And the kid, the point guard, Jaden Bradley, he was tough. And his dad, I didn't know it was his dad, sitting next to me. And he said, yo, you got a son? I said, yeah, he's number 3. He goes, oh, he pretty good. I was like, which one's yours? He said, that one. I said, he's even better. God damn, he's even better, you know? So I'm like, oh, okay. So playing that level, you must have played, 10 games? Between KC and Atlanta, he played 10 games against top-notch kids. And now all of a sudden we go on the Jersey Live.
Right.
It's apples and oranges, man. So now he's used to that.
Right.
And guess what? 30-second clock. They did a 30-second clock
we had a shot
in
clock.
Atlanta and in KC. So he was used to that. That's why he was so aggressive. And then when he comes back to Jersey High School, he
Yeah.
You don't got to look up at the shot clock.
you got to look
We
at the
got
shot
5
clock.
seconds now.
You got to get it going. So, going into Philly Live and Jersey Live, like we couldn't go into the gyms. We had to watch it all live stream. And I thought, and this is when, you asked me, this is when I started saying, I I like the way he's playing. You know what I mean? You could tell he got so much better in the practices he was in. I mean, it was that with Kalo was just like, it was just different. You know, it was just a different environment, and you could tell that he started getting better. Then you talk about his junior year after the Philly Live, then he goes to the Adidas, the National Adidas tournament, and that was off the chain. You know, they got top-notch players, and he did really well. When he went to Iowa, he did very well. We watched it on live stream. He did very well. So
did you ever? I'm sorry.
No,
did you ever match up with the boy Rob Dillington or whatever from Donda?
No, because he is 2023, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, no. He played EYBL.
Okay.
I played the Adidas circuit.
He played Adidas circuit,
we never met up.
But what they did was Atlanta was everybody. EYBL, it was all those guys.
No, that was Kansas City.
Kansas City was that's right. Yeah.
So everybody could have matched up.
Yeah, correct.
He played with CP3, right?
Like,
yeah.
So I did see him play.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had the gym rocking. Oh my God. Yeah.
So that's where it all came in. That year was, you know, that whole summer last year was pretty good for him. But, you know, that's when the calls started coming. Mm-hmm. You know, that's when it was like, you know, let's go visit some schools, and I initiated that. I told the coach, I said, listen, we going on a little mini vacation. We want to come down. Come on down. You know, I initiated it, and we went down to a couple schools. We hit 2 schools on the way. Went down south, hit 2 schools on the way up. You know, weekend. You know, a long weekend, and we got to see some folks and him. You know, as a family, me, his mom. You know, we got to sit with the coaches and see, you know, who they were, and she didn't like some of them, and I didn't know it till later on. He was like, oh. He said, Dad, I don't know about this dude. And I was like, I liked him. You know, he was a no-nonsense guy. And then, you know, I ain't going to mention the one school. We go and we sit and we talk. It was funny because we're in there, and all of a sudden we walk in and Derek's picture's up on the thing. This big, like a big screen TV like that in the jersey, right? Nicest coach. He's going to be a big-time coach one day. And he talked more about academics than athletics because it was that school. Mm-hmm. And it's expensive school. And we walk out and Derek goes, so they want me to play basketball, but he talked about academics all day. I said, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing for Derek Simpson. We walked out and me and my wife were like, yeah, that's true. We're like, they talked about academics. That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
But you gonna pay, you gonna get this kid $70,000 a year, and you don't say nothing about basketball.
Right.
And then, you know, it was, he got to see. This is what I wanted him to do. I wanted him to sit in front of the coaches, and I wanted him to talk to the coaches. I was like, yo, you got to call him. Like, a couple coaches were calling him. One coach called him from the Big East about 20 times, didn't call me. So I said, let me have coach call me. And he called me. And he said, I'm so glad you asked me to call you. He's because we're not really recruiting Derek that hard. He's on our list. He says, but I'm not going to call you unless I'm really serious about Derek. And he says, I'm really serious about Derek now. I said, okay. But, you know, they saw him play and they never came back again. So, you know, it is what it is. And they had signed their top point guard, you know, and we knew that. And we knew that Derek was not their top point guard. So they signed him and they stopped calling us. And then that point guard decommitted. And he called us again. He goes, you're back on the map. And then he fell off the map again, you know? No big deal. You know, when you got a whole bunch of schools, you know what I mean? You just, if one falls off, you got 6 more to go. You know, everything happens for a reason, right?
How y'all so even killed during this process though? I just think that's an important part because I mean you get a scholarship offer, a kid, a parent, bro, they through the roof. You know, and if it doesn't go through, devastation. You know what I mean? Again, I'm just talking on the outside looking in, looking at y'all, it seemed like y'all always stayed the course.
One school I know they were going to offer him, but the coach got fired. You probably know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. He got fired, and he talked to Derek. I talked to him one time. I think he talked to him 2 or 3 times. Yeah. But, you know, when he got fired, I was like, oh man, you know, I was kind of like, wow, that would have been a great opportunity for him, you know, because I liked him. I don't think you get devastated. You just, you know, if you got one offer on the table and someone they take the offer. It happened to me in high school. The team that's in the 16, St. Peter's, they recruited me hard in high school. Coach brought me in. We're gonna start recruiting you. Wow, I didn't know what I was gonna do because I only had 2 more offers and they weren't at that level. So, you know, you get used to that. You don't. I didn't expect every school to offer him. I expect the schools to offer him that liked his position because he is a true point guard.
Okay.
You know, and schools that need true point guards offered him.
You ever think about some HBCUs or anything?
I talked to a lot of like one of my friends, you know, he's thinking about going to HBCU. I said, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I could fit in at a HBCU.
You don't think so?
Just because of you know, that's just not sometimes the environment, you know. I mean, I go to a mixed school, so I'm used to talking to a lot of different cultures. Diversity is a big thing, and I don't know. I never thought of the HBCUs, to be honest.
I mean, they didn't come around either.
Yeah,
they didn't come around either. I mean, I don't remember seeing any of them.
Yo, that's a great segue. I'm sitting here thinking, listening to y'all. What the hell do college coaches be looking at during a recruiting process? Like, it's mind-boggling to me. I swear I'm not saying this because he's sitting here. I knew his sophomore year he was the best point guard in the state. Like, yo, show me, bro. Like, show me, right? But the recruiting still wasn't ramped up. It was mind-boggling to me, and I'm sitting here thinking, when y'all look at y'all boards I gotta talk to a college coach. What's y'all boxes, bro? Like, as far as attributes, I'm looking for a special attribute. It don't have to be a special player at all.
Attribute.
One attribute that you're special at that separates you, along with fitting in what we want to do. That's it. And he's always had a special attribute. So you talking about HBCUs, you already behind the 8 ball. Let's be honest. You already behind the 8 ball as an HBCU, right? You, out of everybody, or just a lower level college D1 program, you out of everybody should be looking for that. Not the great player. You're not getting the 5-star. It's not happening. So just listening to y'all, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just going off on
I told him straight up, we're not going to burn any bridges with any school because when I was going through recruitment in high school, I had a Division III school come in, and I loved the coach to death. And when a couple of my scholarships fell off, I almost went there because he still came to my house. He's like, I know you're getting recruited by Division I basketball, but I'm still coming to your house. I'm sitting right here he was in my living room.
You damn right.
He didn't care.
You damn right.
And I almost went there because of the other. So I always told him, you're going to talk to everybody. You're going to talk to everybody, and you know, and we'll see what happens. But I had him talk to the coaches. I didn't need to talk to the coach because I ain't playing for that dude. You know what I mean? I'm not playing for him.
Yeah.
So I had him talk to him. And you know, sometimes it was funny because sometimes you hear him up in his room talking on the phone. I'm like, he never talks on the phone like that. He must be on the phone with a coach, right? He never talks on the phone like that. So I leave him alone. And then all of a sudden, you know, he quiet. He don't say nothing. 20 minutes go by. I'm like, is he going to come down here and tell me who he's on the phone with? You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I was on the phone with so-and-so. I said, okay, what'd they say? You know, it's just conversations. Whatever, man. I'm done. I'm done. And then sometimes he'll call. I know it happened like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, so-and-so just offered me. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, so-and-so just offered me.
just happened out of nowhere.
He said, yeah, someone just offered me. I said, man, they're never going to call you back, bro. They're never going to call you back.
Nah, it did happen like once or twice. Where it just happened. They just got a call. I was just out.
So, you know, we took it as it was.
Still like, just offer me, Yeah, nah. We eating tonight for dinner.
Yeah. He said, someone just offered me. I said, who? I said, they were at the. He said, yeah, they said they saw me play. I was like, I don't know about that.
I don't know. I just think the dynamics is just so dope, and I think it could be every parent, mother, father, son relationship. Like just do your and ask a bunch of questions. You don't even need to know the landscape. Just ask a ton of questions.
One school offered him, and I'll tell you who it is too, because I love this guy. Arizona State offered him probably.
That was
right before Rutgers. Rutgers offered you, and then they offered you, right?
No.
After Iowa. So Bobby Hurley saw him play.
Yeah.
And he stayed at the game.
That's where Arizona. That's where he at, Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State.
Yeah. So he had Remy Martin.
Yeah, Bobby Hurley. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
At the time, yeah.
So his assistant called me. I think he called you first. The assistant called you first. Yeah. Then he called me and said, "Listen, I just want to tell you, I just got off the phone with Derek." I was like, "Oh, okay," because I was out. I wasn't. I said, okay. He says, Bobby Hurley really likes him, you know. So I started asking questions, and it resulted in the next week saying, nah, it's not a good fit for us. I appreciate that. He says, Ron, I really appreciate that. Hurley texted him and said, hey, Derek, good luck. You know, class act, you know what I mean? So, you know, my conversation, I relayed to Derek, and I said, listen, they got too many guards coming. Like, they got 7 guards coming back.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that.
And he was like, yeah, Dad, I don't think that'd be good. So I called the assistant coach and I told him. He said, Ron, I really appreciate that. He goes, you know, good luck. Go Rutgers, he said. He said, go Rutgers.
What was your process with Rutgers? What made you say, okay?
It was really Coach PIKELL. You know, he created a great bond with me and my family from the jump. And you know, Coach Knight started the process when he saw me at
Brandon, right?
Yes, he saw me at New Jersey Live, and you know, it's funny because Coach PIKELL was at another location that night. So after we played Don Bosco, we beat Don Bosco. Coach Knight had went downstairs. He talked to my coach Wolf, who was there, who was coaching, and he said, you know, I'm calling Coach PIKELL. He's got to come see Derek play. And then the next game, he saw me play, and you know, he loved me ever since, and we just created a great bond. I believe, what was it, a week or two after that, we went
there a week and a half later.
We went for a visit. And the campus was just unbelievable. Like, you know, when you go there, it's just something.
The new facility is all unbelievable.
It's just
$125 million new facility.
It's just something you would want to be a part of. Like,
Marciano.
Yeah.
It's just something, you know, you just want to be a part of in the environment there, you know. And it's so crazy because even like in my school, so many people come up to me like, oh, I graduated from Rutgers.
Right.
Like I'm rooting for you. You know, like that's something that's just like special, and that doesn't happen on everybody's, you know, a daily basis.
Correct.
And I'm glad I chose Rutgers. Though.
What kind of guards is up there?
What'd you say?
What kind of guards is up there?
Kind of guards there right now?
Tell the truth.
Remember, they listening. They waiting for you.
What do you mean by like what type of guard?
Who's there?
Like
who's the starting point guard right now?
Gio. Right? Gio's still there, right?
Nah, he's gone.
He's leaving.
He's gone.
So Paul.
Gio gone? Oh yeah, McKay.
Yeah, he's
so
the
you
guard.
coming into a starting spot, is what you trying to say, as a freshman. Big D1 school. You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? Thank you. That's what
I just want to go. I want to go.
I want you to know I like the humbleness and everything, right? But on that D1 stage, there ain't no time for that. It's time to be a dog. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
No doubt.
What's up with you, Ron?
Look, I'm happy for him. I just, you know, when we had the conversation, when we went up there and we took the visit, first of all, Coach PIKELL didn't think we was going to come up. He was, I remember we walked in his office, he said, I didn't think you guys were going to come up. I was like, well, why is that? He goes, I don't know. He says, you know, I didn't think you guys
But you had better.
Yeah, it was fun. He was like, why would you say that? I'm glad. I just told him, I said, you go into the Big Ten, it's a different story from the other schools that offered you. It's a big step up. And I said, you know, you just go in, you do what you got to do, and things will play itself out. You know, if you don't play your freshman year, you're going to sit and learn. And you're going to get that Big Ten coaching, you're going to get that Big Ten practice experience, and then you'll be ready for your sophomore year. But things have changed, and I think he's going to have to work. But his position is not there. Like, there's no one there that plays his position. So, you know, he's just got to, and he's humble about it. He knows. He ain't going to go in there and just say, you know, I got this. No, they're going to work him. And Brandon's going to be on him. They came to a few games this year, and Coach Knight is going to be on them. I know that for a fact, and I think they connect very well. And I'm excited for it. You know, I think that that was a good choice for him academically. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Like he's saying, his teachers and then, I graduated from Rutgers. People come up. I was in Miami at a football game, and I had a Rutgers hat on in December. And some old guy pulled, come here. I'm like, do I know you? He's like, oh, they're Rutgers. I graduated from Rutgers, you know? And he started talking, what do you know about Rutgers? I said, my son's going to go. Oh, my God, I can't wait to see him. What's his name, you know? So it's like, it's a lot, but, you know, we don't want to put no pressure on the kid. You just go out and do it and see what happens from there. You know, we already talked about the social media thing. We already talked about that, where it's going to be crazy, you know, no matter what. You know, John Wooden won 10 national championships, but somebody's going to say he can't coach, right?
Always.
So someone's going to say that he can't coach.
Always.
So you could be the best of the best, and someone's going to, you know, so we got to, you know, trying to prep him for it. He's going to go up there in July, go to summer school, and he's going to start working out in July. And then he'll be out of my house.
That's the best part about it. He out of here.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Again, looking at you progress, that's the most rewarding part, man. Just looking at a kid progress into what you are now, and the work still a lot more work to do, but it's beautiful. You know, the process, the finished product is whatever it is, but it's I think more kids and adults gotta embrace it's the journey, man. And then you look back at it and you like, wow, like that was good, man. So I'm proud of you, man. One of the only kids I see that still shoot a mid-range jump shot. That's still mind-boggling to me. They leave that alone. I'm really proud of you, man. You're gonna do well. You're gonna do well. Before we go, I gotta finish with this. You know anything about that 2004 LENAPE team with Jason Thompson?
Nah.
You don't?
Nah.
Wonder if your dad do.
Yeah, it was Jason. It was a kid named, I saw him play. Chris Bentley. He went to Lehigh. Ryan played. Point guard was Celistan, I think, right?
2004 versus 2022.
We
Good team.
Nah, we would beat them.
You don't even know who they are, bro.
We would beat them.
you know.
Why you say it so fast? You don't even remember you saw them play?
Nah.
I think
You said that
we
quick.
the best team in LENAPE history.
You said that quick, Derek. You said that really quick.
I think, me personally,
Yo, Derek.
I think
love
that
you.
2000
I love you.
I'm
bro.
confident about that one.
I love you, bro.
the 2004 3, 4, 5 position is
Listen,
way better.
listen.
That don't mean nothing.
Bentley, listen what we just said. Jason Thompson.
I love you, Aiden and Tavon.
Yeah, we love you. but you got Jason Thompson, his brother Ryan, and Bentley. And they all went Division I, and they did very well at the level they went. And they were big. They were bigger than what you had. Like, you know, Bentley was 6'5", 6'6", and Ryan at the time.
They had a 2003 team though with Matt Bentley, and he won.
That's what I'm talking about, Matt Bentley. That's
So maybe I should have said. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have said 2003.
They had Matt Bentley, Stan Green,
yes,
Jason Thompson.
Yes,
that was the three monsters, and
Yes.
the other two was just people that was there, and they was good,
yeah, they were good.
and they won the states that year,
I love you,
undefeated.
Derek, but
I think they were 20 and
no chance, bro.
no
chance.
But they came up together. They
didn't
came from
lose.
freshman year all the way up.
They didn't lose a game.
No.
No, I don't.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I
Matt
think
Bentley
they were
was player of the year.
20s.
They
'cause I
won state
saw-
championships back to back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
2004. Yeah, it's on the wall. It's on the wall.
I'm sure they got the tape somewhere in there, but yeah, you gotta leave that one alone. I love your confidence.
I
See,
do too.
now
I like that.
you on the
That's what I wanted
side.
to
Now
hear.
you on the side with Wayne.
So I wanted
know,
to hear
I
that.
love it,
Yeah,
but-
he said.
Nah.
You said,
that
nah,
one,
that was
brother.
funny. He said, what do you know about that? That was a good question, though. That's surprising shit.